Hello, today I'm going to show you a formula which will help you work out how many days you've got available to do things between two dates. Then a little variation on that formula, which I'll explain as we go through. So first of all, let me just introduce this formula to you. This formula is called network days, and it shows you the number of days difference between two dates. And that's really useful to work out how many working days a project will take. It excludes weekends, and the default is Saturday and Sunday being the weekend. And you can take into account holidays. Let me explain how this works. I've got a spreadsheet here which shows you how many days are available for the task. So I've put just task 1 to 5, and I've put start and finish dates on, so that we could play around with the number of days that we have for the task. So you can see on the first line there, I've got task 1 here. I have a start date of the 12th of December, and the task rolls on till the 14th of December. So if I was just to do a little formula here to work out the difference between those dates, just C4 take away B4, it would be wrong, because it says there's 2 days. We can all count, can't we? 12, 13, 14, there's 3 days. So the formula is the network days formula. And as you can see, the network days formula is calculating the difference between those 2 dates and not counting days which are weekend days. And the default is Saturday, Sunday. So how about if you've got some holidays that have got to be taken into account? Whoever's doing the task has got some days off. How do we account for that? Well, the network days holiday formula includes a little bit where you can add in a block of dates that you don't want to be counted for the task or the project. So I've put them here. I've just put them over there. And also, just for your reference, I've worked out which day of the week each one starts on, so that you can see here what day of the week it is when we start talking about what days are weekends, what days won't someone be working. All right, so the first example here starts on the 12th. So if we were to work it out, less holidays, you remember it's 3 days if we counted 12, 13, 14. Well, if somebody's taking the Monday off, then that is going to be 2 days, isn't it, available to the task? Okay, now, here's the thing. There's another formula which is just very similar, but we can change and vary which days of the weekend. For some of you, you might not have Saturday and Sunday off. It might be different days of the week. So let me show you how that works. So there's your formulas for network days. You take the first date that the task starts, comma, the second date that it finishes, and then you take the block where you want to mark out all the holidays, and you lock those with the dollar signs using F4. Okay, how do we use the other formula, which will vary the weekend? This formula is called network days. .intl, and it shows the number of days difference between the 2 dates, but it allows for variable weekends, but it always says 2 days per week. Okay, so how does that look? Well, when you are writing your network days.intl formula, you've got the first date, the start date, comma, the end date of the project or task, and then you put in a number, and I've just shown you the drop down for the numbers. So it varies, of course, which days people would have off as their weekend. So the default would be Saturday, Sunday, but look, so in my example, I'm going to choose for a Monday, Tuesday to be a 3, and there's my block for my holidays. Okay, so let's go into the formula and have a look. So there's that 3 that I've typed in for my weekend being, in this case, a Monday and a Tuesday. Now look, this holiday is on a Monday, so that day won't count in the project. Can't have someone working on their holiday. So the first day they wanted to start it, you can't count that. So the answer in this case is going to be just 1 day that they can work on the project, because they're on a weekend on the 12th and the 13th. So the one day would be Wednesday the 14th that they could work. So I would recommend that formula to you if you've got to use dates to work out the length of a task or a project. And if you need any help with it at all, then please do get in touch. My contact details will follow.